All right, well, welcome back. I'm going to make maybe a three-part video series on this, and it's all going to be about secant of x. And so I want to do kind of part one. What is the integral of secant of x dx? Now, the easiest way I know how to calculate this integral requires kind of a creative little idea. And so I'm going to show us that idea. Now this is quite clever and requires some ingenuity. So keep that in mind and just view this as like something to enjoy rather than something that, how would we come up with something like that, right? So I think this is legitimately a little bit challenging. Right, so how do we do it? Well, one thing we could do is let's sort of do our integral. Let's sort of start with our secant of x. And then what we could do is we could multiply it by something that's equal to 1. In this case, we're going to multiply by secant plus tangent over itself. Right, so this red quantity here is 1, so this whole integral is just secant of x. So we could even write kind of a equal sign up here. And this secant of x integral, well, we can keep going. If we simplify it, let's do it all in green now. On the denominator, I'm going to get secant plus tangent. And then on the top, I get secant squared plus secant times tangent. And it looks like I've made it much, much more complicated. But if I let u equal secant plus tangent, I notice that the derivative of u is the numerator. Right? The derivative of this is going to be secant tangent plus secant squared of x. Right? So, which is literally our numerator. Right? It's written in a different order, but it's still the same numerator. And so that means if we do u substitution, we get 1 over u, and this whole numerator here is going to become du. And so we can carry out that calculation. We get natural log of u plus c, which is natural log of secant of x plus tangent of x plus c. And so I may just put this down here. This is a beautiful idea that led us to the antiderivative of secant of x. Turns out to be the natural log of the sum of two trig functions. And I think that's pretty cool. Okay. So thanks for watching. Just to let you know what's coming in part 2. I'm going to do part 2. I'm going to talk about a connection with this thing 1 over x squared minus 1. So stay tuned. That'll be next. Thanks.